It's now part 5, and we're starting up with our next part here, and it's page 494. And in this case, we're actually taking these one at a time. I don't have to hand out. Historically, back in the early 90s, I had all of these creative handouts that I would hand out to describe each cranial nerve, and now the books actually come with all kinds of cool stuff. So here we are. You have to sort of imagine that you're looking down. Remember how we looked down and we found the opening of the skull where the brain resided at the very anterior aspect. Here we have the frontal bone, little sinus right there. And then we actually have a piece of ethmoid bone sticking up right here. And we have the ethmoid, it's called the cribriform plate right here. They're not showing us the crista galli, but on either side of the crista galli, we have these cribriform little flat plates with holes in them, and cranial nerve number 1, olfactory, rests on the cribriform plate right there. And there's going to actually be bipolar cells. These are independent little cells that then synapse with this big, huge cranial nerve number 1. They're called mitral cells within there. At any rate, so basically these little guys are picking up the generator potentials from inside the schnoz. Okay, which means that whatever is aromatic, it could be perfumes. If you're cooking with something of what I call the organic phase, that is to say you're not cooking in water, you're cooking in oil. That's why we add oil to marinara sauce and other sauces like that, is to increase the aromatics and thus the flavor, because they say that 80% of flavor is actually smell. Okay, so if you're only cooking with water, if you're only boiling or poaching your food, you're not getting anywhere near as much flavor as if you stir fry the food, or you just add oil to the broth that you're cooking, and that will give you a little extra kind of sensitivity there. I'm a person who lives without that sort of thing. I live completely on water-based cooking means, and so I dispense with things that taste a little bit too good for the the elderly body that I have to serve. So I'm very careful that way. Anyways, we're smelling stuff. That's what this is about. Cranial nerve number 1 is the olfactory nerve. Cranial nerve number 2 is the optic nerve. We're going to be spending a good deal of time in Chapter 15, the first chapter of Biology 20B. And so we're going to go into great detail with all of this. But it's just good to know that we do have optic nerves here. The optic nerves are coming from each eye. Half of the optic nerve from the medial side is crossing over, and the other half from the lateral aspect is staying the same side, ipsilateral. Okay, same thing over here. That is to say the lateral part of the retina is coming back this way through the optic nerve. It's going to stay same side. And then the medial part of the retina will cross over in the optic chiasma. So that's the deal. It's going to come back here all the way to the occipital lobe, where we're going to get some kind of conscious visual awareness. And then also there's going to be association areas where we have our memories, visual memories. Okay, so then we move on. That was numbers 1 and 2. Here we have number 3, the oculomotor nerve. The oculomotor nerve goes to a number 4 out of the 6 extraocular nerves. And then it also goes inside the eye to the ciliary process as well as to the iris. And it makes parasympathetic adjustments for constriction of the pupil and so on. So you want to keep that in mind. So that's the autonomic part. And we have also, there's going to be some pain involved there. So that's an aspect of little things like that. We're in touch with directly with the eyeball. Proprioception, that is to say we know which way we're looking, and we're also tracking. Okay, so then that was number 3. Now we go on to number 4. Number 4 has very little to do. It's just taking care of the superior oblique muscle right here. And so here it is coming in, and it's innervating that superior oblique muscle, which looks down and out. Okay, so that's that little number right there. That was number 4. Now we come to number 5. Number 5, a little complex. It's a sensory nerve in many ways because it has the 3 branches. It has the branch up here, the ophthalmic, which supplies the eye for pain and proprioception and touch. And then also it's actually moving out here. The ophthalmic branch of cranial nerve 5, trigeminal, is coming through this little notch right there. Right, so it goes through the superior orbital fissure, it takes care of the eye, and then it comes out the notch right there, and it takes care of the skin. So the upper lid, the schnoz for a little bit here, the forehead. Then we have cranial nerve 5, division 2, and that's going to be the maxillary, which comes through the foramen rotundum and exits right here through the infra-orbital foramen. Takes care of the upper teeth, takes care of some of the schnoz right there, takes care of your cheek and your temple. Then we have cranial nerve number 5, division 3, which is the dentist is actually going over here into your jaw with that nasty little syringe in order to anesthetize number 3 here, which is the mandibular nerve. The mandibular nerve is coming down, innervating the muscles of mastication. We just learned that. Okay, it also innervates the tongue for touch, not for taste, not for motor, just touch. Okay, is that important? Heck yeah, it's important if you're into crunchy cookies or soft cookies. So many people that I've seen, the soft cookie people marry the crunchy cookie people. Did you ever have that situation? You might be in that kind of a marriage right now at this very moment, and you have to adjust all of your recipes for cookies because some people like the crunchy and some people like the soft. Anyways, that's so the touch on the tongue, it actually kind of makes a difference for some people. Okay, then we're going to come down and we're going to innervate the lower teeth here and the lower lip, just the way you like that. Some people get their jaws adjusted. Those dental surgeons, they go in there and they break the jaw and they move it around so that you get a better bite and all kinds of stuff. And they keep saying, oh, don't worry, we're not going to do anything permanent. And of course, God, probably more than 50% of the cases, indeed, you do have anesthesia of your lower lip when, in my humble opinion, missing half your kisses. It's a pretty big missing piece right there. But anyways, so right there, your lower lip, we're going to exit through the the mental foramen right there in order to take care of the skin here with the mandibular branch of the trigeminal. So isn't that a busy situation right there? Just the way you like it. Okay, so that covers all the little details there for number 5. Then we have number 6. Number 6 again is just doing one muscle of the eye. It's the lateral rectus. That's all it does for a living. It just comes in right here and it goes to the lateral rectus, causing you to look to the side. Okay, if you're a left eye, you're looking to the left. If you're a right eye, you're looking to the right. And it's used for tracking, just the way you like it. Okay, then we have, that was 6 and now is 7. 7, very complex. 7, crazy complex, in fact. We come out here. Now, number 7 actually does enter the bony skull in the internal acoustic meatus along with cranial nerve 8, but only a portion of it is going to be anywhere near where the cranial nerve 8 is. Now, notice here that we do have a lot of action coming down this way. We have the anterior 2/3 of the tongue for taste. We have these 2 salivary glands right here, the sublingual, submandibular salivary glands. That's all facial nerve, just the way you like it. Facial nerve also takes care of the lacrimal gland, tears. Okay, we do have some, how shall I say, look at that, chordae tympani branch, taste. So there's some aspect of taste going on there. they're not telling us about over here, but so we'll just skip over that in silence. Okay, and then so that's the deal, saliva and taste. Now what else is going on here is that we're innervating the muscles of facial expression. Okay, so we have 3 branches. Yeah, I'm not going to cause you to name them all, but they are to Zanzibar by motor car. See that right there? You can take a little snapshot of that. Temporal, zygomatic buccal, mandibular and cervical to Zanzibar by motor car. Okay, so it takes care of all these muscles of facial expression, even the platysma. Okay.